The story begins on a computer screen where we see a great war taking place between two countries attacking each other. One faction is named after the god Nebula, while the other is named after the god Hegemony. A person from the Nebula faction shouts, "Advance in the name of God Nebula and defeat Hegemony." Both factions then attack each other. We then see a boy sitting in front of the computer watching all of this. He sees all the people fighting and says, "Beb, so this is Hegemony? Well, they won't be able to escape my attack." We then see that they are playing a chess like game where the chess pieces are their armies. It's as if World War III is happening. Seeing this, the boy says, "So, what should I do at this point?" A system notification then appears asking, "Would you like to strike with a nuclear bomb in the name of God Nebula?" He clicks yes, and a nuclear bomb attacks the Hegemony territory. The people of Hegemony are terrified. Hegemony says, "What? Is this the same nuclear attack? I thought you weren't prepared for this, right, Nebula?" Hegemony then launches their own attack. Seeing this, Nebula says, "Anti ballistic missiles, you are well prepared, but they won't be able to do anything against me." We then see an explosion, but the nuclear bomb is unharmed. It flies through the sky and attacks Hegemony's territory. We then see a scene of a church where some monsters are praying. The nuclear weapon is approaching them. Hegemony says, "Praying points in such a situation, but it seems you've forgotten this is a perished world." Using his power, he catches the nuclear missile. He says, "Here, everyone's faith produces a result." Hearing this, Nebula, the person controlling him, thinks, "I can see you're using holy orchestra." Hegemony then laughs and says, "Did you see this? This is the same Freshlicious who is ranked second in the game. I can see him laughing." The other person thinks, "So that's why you're so confident. Although orcs are an easy race to recruit, gathering so much faith is a big deal. I chose a battlefield in the sky so that I could prepare for your attack freely, and preparing a spirit doll was a good preparation. But you were completely clean, and since I rule the sky, I can utilize endless space above their heads." With this, the satellite in the sky launches several attacks. Hegemony is shocked and says, "What? The first nuclear attack and now this kinetic bomberman? Are you crazy?" He tries to block it, saying, "Quickly block it or it will hit our place." Nebula says, "No, there's no way. Even if these are just some tungsten rods, you can't stop them. Gravity acceleration has also been added, so there's nothing you can do to stop this." The three rods break through the holy orchestra and go down. Nebula says, "It's too late, Hegemony. Everything is about to end." Hegemony's territory is then destroyed. The place breaks into pieces and the emperor is killed. Both the imperial palace and the underground temple collapse. Nebula says, "The faith you created is now gone. And when this faith disappears, all your powers will disappear. Hegemony did a good job." With this, Nebula is the winner and is ranked first. Seeing this, Hegemony gets very angry and says, "No, Nebula, this can't happen. Just play one more game. This time I'll make sure I win. Come on, once again, please play once more." He keeps repeating this, and the boy sees him and says, "They didn't surrender, so I thought they had a trump card." But it ended very quickly. Their numbers were not that big in this match, and nothing new was seen. But I have completed the achievement for which I needed to be at the top of the ranking. So, the time has come. With this, all his achievements are completed and he receives a notification. He says, "A message? Who is bothering me at this time?" He is then told, "Astonishing achievement. You are the only person to have achieved all the achievements to date, and we thank you for enjoying this perished world." Seeing this, he says, "What? Is their service going to end here? This can't happen." He is then told, "The beta testing period is over. Now the perished world will be released to the public. Player Nebula, you can enjoy this game before it goes live." Seeing this, he says, "So this was a beta version. So will the real game be something else?" He is then asked, "Would you like to enter it?" Seeing this, he says, "If that's the case, then of course I would like to enter it." With this, he clicks on yes and finds himself in a strange place, and a light is shining in front of him. Seeing this, he says, "Is this a temple or a ruin? No, wait, I look just like my in game avatar. Is this a dream?" Just then, a person calls out from behind him, "No, this is not a dream. So you have also been chosen, Nebula. So let me introduce myself. My name is Aladdin." Seeing this, Nebula says, "Interesting. How do you know my name? And more than that, what is this place? And what are all these shadows doing around here? What is all this happening?" Aladdin says to him, "I was thinking if any players would know each other. So, for a fair game, everyone has received a mask. And I know that all of you are very curious to know this. So, let's get straight to the point." With this, he claps his hands and the earth appears in front of them. Seeing this, Nebula says, "Is this Earth? This can't be. No, this is something else. I've seen it many times. This is the perished world." With this, we see that all the shadows are also players. Aladdin says, "Now you all are going to the boundless perished world, so go there and become a god." Seeing this, everyone starts talking among themselves. Seeing this, Nebula says, "I can't hear their voices, but I can feel them. They are very embarrassed." With this, they are told, "Lost world, this is not a world that exists inside the game. Due to an incident in the past, this is a land that was abandoned by the gods, and at one time there was a brilliant civilization on this planet where different races lived. However, for an unknown reason, the gods abandoned it, and now the time has come for a new god to adopt it. So, the game Lost World was created for the purpose of finding suitable candidates for that planet. So, just by trying, you can become a god, and it's just like the Lost World. First, only the foolish things will believe in you, and if you say that they will believe in you, they will definitely believe in you. And with this, you can become a god of this planet and you can do whatever you want there. Your wish is all the wishes you have ever dreamed of, and as the god of this world, it will definitely be possible. Seeing this, Nebula gets very confused and says, "What will happen if I give up on this?" Aladdin says, "If you give up, you will directly go back to your daily life, and with this, you will lose all your memories." Hearing this, Nebula says, "But what if I leave it in the middle of the challenge?" Aladdin says, "In the middle of the challenge? No, you can't do that." Hearing this, Nebula starts thinking. He says, "Okay, but what if I lose to another god?" Aladdin says to him, "This will be a god end, and I don't believe that all of you will welcome it." Seeing this, he thinks, "What? A god end means to become extinct. This means that all these people's lives are in danger, and there is only one reason to give up, that there is no reason." Then Aladdin says, "So now the time has come to choose. If you give up, please let us know. Start your journey by selecting a small area." With this, he places his hand on a map. Seeing this, Nebula thinks this is really like a game. This means that it starts with choosing a small place, but are people already giving up? With this, he sees that everyone is giving up and leaving. Seeing this, he thinks apparently the starting number of people was more than the maximum players of the Lost World. It was 32. So, does this mean that the remaining people are only 27? Then Aladdin says to Nebula, "So that's fine. Go ahead and choose your place." Seeing this, Nebula is very shocked and thinks, "What? Am I going first?" With this, he moves forward and thinks, "Will the selection be based on ranking?" And with this, he picks a card. By the way, guys, forgive me. First, I said map, but these are cards because I didn't understand it properly, so please forgive me for that. We move on to the next part where, as soon as Nebula holds that card, he is teleported from there and goes to another world. The scene changes, and we are shown a scene of the same world. We see a very beautiful natural scenery, and we see a frog sitting there to hunt. Just then, he sees a fish and catches it. He looks at it and says, "Wow, this is quite big." The frog says, "Wow, tonight we will have a party." He then sees a butterfly near him, and seeing it, he says, "Is this a kind of butterfly that I have never seen before? By the way, are these butterflies very important? Well, now I am not going to eat any insect." With this, we see that the butterfly flies and sits on Nebula's hand. We see that he has many such butterflies, and there are many system windows in front of him. Nebula says, "Was he a frogman just now?" The smallest area of insects has the lowest win rate, but it depends on the writing. With this, he looks at the card and says, "Although it is backward compatible with the bird, it is quite useful in the beginning, but the starting point is at the eastern end of the continent." With this, he looks at its location and says, "So this means that there are not many battles here." With this, he also sees a lot of resources there, and seeing them, he says, "So we can gain benefits from this too." This means that using an aggressive strategy will be very difficult. So, this means that a race that eats insects is a good starting race, for example, that frogman. And seeing him, he thinks, "But the thing that bothers me is their tribe's numbers, which are almost 500, where it is quite difficult to detect a large group as a tribe first." With this, he sees that there are different types of frogmen, whose species are almost 500. With this, he sees that he gets 10 faith, and seeing this, he says, "In the lost world, the more faith there is, the more it will influence the creature. Here I have 10 faith, which is too little to influence this group of frogmen, but well, what about the group around me?" And with this, the scene changes and we see many lizard men walking in a line. With this, we see a person that is a lizard man who is very injured. Seeing this, Nebula says, are all these lizard men? Even lizard men eat insects and they can survive here without water. The numbers have decreased a lot, so this is really good for me. With this, he starts checking all the lizard men there, out of which one is very sick and the other is very old and another one is very injured. Seeing this, he says, wow, he is very badly injured, so I got to know that he is from the original group where the power struggle must have thrown him out. And he feels as abandoned by the world as he feels tired. So, what if a small miracle happens? Saying this, he looks at him. He says, but this is very fragile. Well, okay, let's start with this. With this, the scene changes and we see all those lizard men walking forward. Here, everyone is very thirsty and hungry. Suddenly, they see a deer in front of them. Seeing this, they get very happy and say, look, there is a deer in front of us which is injured. Attack it quickly. And with this, they all attack it. But the other people, that is, the injured and old people, do not move forward. But the other people attack the deer and say, it's been so long since we last saw meat. I am very hungry. Seeing all this, the old man says, wow, what I am seeing does not seem like it is a matter of elders or sick people. It seems that there is nothing for us here. And in the blink of an eye, the rest of the lizard men eat that deer. Seeing this, they say, look, it got eaten in a moment. And then another lizard man grabs a bone and says, look, this is bone marrow and this bone is the most delicious. So, should we try it? And saying this, he is about to eat it when another lizard man snatches it from him. Seeing this, he says, what? What are you doing? The other person says, that's enough, let's leave it for those who can't hunt. With this, he takes the remaining bones and gives them to the sick and old people. The injured lizard man is also there, who is eating it. On the other hand, seeing this, the other lizard men say, hey Joel, do you really agree with this? Then another person says, it doesn't matter if they are old or young, but that man knows that he is going to die soon. And another person says, yes, that's absolutely right. Anyway, his wound is rotting. In fact, he should have died already, and I don't know how he keeps walking without lagging behind. He should have been left far behind. And another person says, many people have been saved because Rake Rake blocked the Cyber Tour Tiger, and I praise him, but he is going to die anyway. And with this, there is no food here, so we should leave him behind. Hearing this, Joel says, what? How can you say that? This is a very shameful thing. You should not say that. The other person says, wait, be honest. We all know that he is going to die. After some time, we see that it is night and everyone is sleeping together. With this, we see Rake Rake, who is very injured. He is not even able to sleep and is groaning in pain. Just then, a butterfly comes to him, which flies past him. Seeing this, Rake Rake is quite surprised. He thinks, what? What is this? Does what I am seeing right now have any meaning? With this, he sees a light in front of him, and seeing it, he starts following that butterfly. He thinks, what will that thing be here? He then sees a mountain of beetles. Seeing this, he is quite surprised and thinks, what is this? This is for eating and this is enough for our whole group. With this, a notification comes from Abel where he is told that the group of lizard men 1102 has all experienced a miracle. Seeing this, Nebula says, what? You have recognized the miracle? That's a good thing. A small amount can feed the whole group for a few days. So what's the next step? He then gets very surprised seeing one thing where he sees that Rake Rake has a beetle in his hands. Seeing this, he says, what? Are you yourself announcing the miracle? How can this happen? Can a person with a really high willpower take care of things themselves? With this, he gets another notification. He is told that Rake Rake has recognized the divinity as the nameless beetle god. Seeing this, Nebula is quite surprised and says, what? A beetle? A butterfly should have been in its place. How can a beetle and this happen? And with this, he looks at those people where he sees Rake Rake. And since he had a lot of hope from Rake Rake, seeing this, he says, so that's fine. From now on, I think you have become very important to me. With this, we see that all those people are very happy with Rake Rake. Then the next day, we see that all those people move forward again. Here, Rake Rake sees that butterfly again, and seeing it, he says, it seems I am seeing illusions again, so maybe this time I should follow it again. Hearing his words, everyone says, yes, of course, let's follow it, so let's move forward. One of them says, Rake Rake, are you going to immediately chase after your fantasy? Rake Rake says, winter is coming now, and beetles always come from cold directions, so if we move in that direction, we will go on a detour and die. Hearing this, his companion gets scared and says, "So, should we not pay attention to this fantasy of yours and walk in a different direction?" Rek says, "Maybe I don't think we should do that. And anyway, there is nothing here. And in fact, I don't even know what the purpose of the fantasy I am seeing is." Saying this, he looks towards the sky and says, "For now, I have no other choice but to follow it." Seeing this, Nebula thinks this is because there is a lack of faith in them. Well, this is the beginning, so we can't do anything. And if I were specific, I would hear a lot about faith, but Rake, if you believe in me, you will experience a future that you never even thought of achieving. And with this, he gives a warm blessing. With this, we see that Rake takes everyone and follows that butterfly. Then Rake finds something where the child sitting on his shoulder also gets very happy. And with this, Rake shouts and says, "Everyone, listen to me carefully. The nameless beetle god has brought us to a sanctuary ahead." And with this, we see that they all reach a green place where there is water, trees, and everything. Seeing this, everyone is quite surprised and happy. They say, "We have been saved, Rake. It was right to stay with you. You have saved our lives." And they all thank Rake. Because of this, Nebula's divinity level increases. The area of small bugs increases, and from now on, blessing of bugs is possible in this world. On the other hand, seeing this, Nebula says, Rake, do you want to know what I want after all? Then become my priest and convey my will to your people. I give you a blessing, and this will help you. And with this, he gives him a blessing. With this, it becomes night and everyone goes to sleep. With this, we see that a firefly comes to Rake and sits on him, and he hears a voice, Rake, listen to me. And with this, we see that Rake reaches a strange place, and while going there, he says, "Where am I? Is this a dream?" Then Nebula says to him, Rake, listen to me. Hearing him, he says, "Who is this after all?" Then Nebula comes in front of him and extends his hand, and with this, he gives him a garment. Seeing this, Rake is very surprised. He looks at it and says, "What is this thing?" With this, he wears it where he looks exactly like Nebula. Seeing this, he says, "So it's you, the nameless beetle god." With this, the next morning comes where everyone is standing in front of Rake. Rake tells everyone about that dream and says, "Yes, my dream was like this." Hearing this, one of them says, "This is not as clear as you wanted." Another person says, "Is the beetle god asking you to sacrifice a buffalo or to hunt a buffalo, and for this you will have to go deep into the jungle?" Hearing this, the other person says to Joel, "But Joel, the one who brought us to this place is Rake. Joel says, "But I just don't want to put him in danger. That's why I am refusing him to go. Water buffalo hunting is very dangerous. You can even lose your life, and we cannot take such a risk. And if all the hunters go forward, who will protect the rest of the people? There are many weak people here too." Hearing this, Rake says, "Yes, of course, we cannot put the whole pack in danger, so that's why I will go alone." Hearing this, everyone gets very surprised. Joel moves forward and says, Rake, you can't hunt a water buffalo alone. This is impossible. You can't do this." Rake moves forward and says, "This is not about being careless. The God has given me a blessing." Hearing this, all those people say, "What? A blessing? What is this after all?" Rake says, "This is truly unbelievable. His whole body was covered with black spots, just like a beetle." Hearing this, Joel says, "Yes, I agree that this is a strange thing, but going alone for buffalo hunting is not a reason. You should not do this." Hearing this, Rake says, "But the real reason is this." And with this, he pumps his body and shoots that spear very fast, which breaks the whole tree. Seeing this, everyone is very surprised. And seeing all this, all the people come running there and they say, Rake, you are amazing." And another person says, "Amazing, you had some hidden power inside you." Seeing this, another person says, "Wow, even if this is a dry tree, he still broke that tree in a single strike. Is this really Rake?" Then another person sees something, and seeing it, he says, "Wow, what is this after all?" Seeing this, Rake also gets very happy. He says to his companions, "Everyone listen to me carefully. Look this way. This is a herd of buffaloes." And with this, we see that many buffaloes are running away from there. Seeing this, Joel says, "How did this happen? This is impossible. A herd of buffaloes that always stays in one place, how did they come here? There is no sense in them coming here. How did all this happen?" Rake says, "This is a pointless fight, so let's move forward." And with this, he goes ahead to fight. Seeing this, Joel says, Rake, Rake, wait a second. Rake moves forward and says, Today we are going to party. And with this, he moves forward very fast, where he kills a buffalo in a single strike and says, Come on quickly and catch all the buffaloes. With this, all the lizard men start moving forward. Seeing this, Rake thinks he not only sent beetles but also sent meat. He is truly a god. With this, it becomes night, where we see that Rake is sacrificing a buffalo. He says, God, the nameless beetle, please accept our offering no matter how bad it is. This is all we have to give, so please accept it. With this, everyone bows down there. On the other hand, seeing this, Nebula thinks, although this is a very sloppy and clumsy ritual, what is important in this is honesty, and I have received much more faith than I thought, and this is enough for me. And as a Nova priest, this is a decent rate, and when I think about it, when I did all this, maybe it was worth it. With this, I believe in buffalo, and I think I should help others too. With this, he starts thinking. He says, By the way, did they also eat this buffalo's baby? With this, he sees that they eat all those buffaloes. Seeing this, he says, Well, what can I say seeing this? At this stage, it is very difficult to expect knowledge or skill to raise something. Although this is a lot, their population support is not that much, and the limit will start in a few years at the most. And in their current state, these people do not know anything about farming or ranching, and later it will be very difficult for them to survive. It is very hard to get knowledge and skill on your own. It is also not right to do this directly because it violates the law of the cause, but it's not like there is no way. It will take some time, so first of all, let's give them some blessings. And with this, he gives some blessings to Rake, and then some time passes where we see that Rake wakes up very early. Seeing him, Joel says, Rake, you woke up very early. Hearing this, Rake says, I had an eye on an altar and last night I had a strange dream. Hearing this, Joel says, What? A dream? Was it an oracle? Hearing this, he says, No, it was strange. It was not that. And the altar in it was shaking in a strange way. With this pond of Palasin, which has protected us for many years, there is no fish here. Even the ground was so dry that the roots of the plants were not reaching the water. Hearing this, she says, But we have not reached there yet. Rake says, Yes, I know. Hearing this, Joel says, So then there is nothing to worry about because the gods take care of us.